Welcome to episode 327 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and my guest this week is Guy Serle. How you doing, Guy?
Hey, it's good to be here. And we were having just a lively discussion before you decided to do a podcast or something.
Yeah, you know, this isn't In Touch with microphones, but I know you'd like it to be, but I'm really glad you're here.
Thank you.
Ben Roethig, you are here as well. How you doing, Ben?
I am fantastic. It's great to not be working tonight and doing something constructive.
Nice. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. Marty, I'm also happy that Marty Jencius is here. How you doing, Marty?
I'm doing good. Thursday nights are the end of my week, and so it's always great to be able to do this and to dive into the tech all day long, knowing that we're going to be talking about it tonight. So I appreciate being here.
I appreciate you being here. So let's dive in here. We got lots to talk about. We're going to continue on with our In Touch with Vision Pro. Marty's back. We could talk some stuff here and some updates, some beta, all kinds of stuff to talk about this week. But let's just get started right away with In Touch with Vision Pro. Vision Pro, they just released Vision Pro 2.1, the fourth beta to the developers. It was not even a week after they seeded the third beta, and we just installed it. There really isn't anything different that I noticed, and other than we're still waiting on the Mac Virtual Display support for multi-view, and multi-view for MLS and MLB games, and the ultra widescreen, for the Mac Virtual Display. But other than that, I didn't see much else. What did you?
Yeah, it was a small update. And the thing that I could find on it, we won't see it generally, is that it indicated that this update was a fix for an issue in StoreKit testing in Xcode. The fix addresses the possibility of an incorrect offer identifier being reported for offer codes and subscription renewal info. So deep, we wouldn't necessarily see it. It's not kind of a visible functional change in it. So
I didn't notice much on mine. So it was just another update. But hey, surprisingly, I'm staying on beta all the way because I just did not like 2 and even 1 for that matter. So version 1. So we'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
Yeah, Eric has stopped doing developer betas. Okay. And he's like, unless something really important comes out, I'm just going to roll back to whatever the public beta is and stay with that. Part of it is because he shares his headset and he doesn't want that to muck up everything else. But it's kind of sensible. If it's going to be things like a fix for an issue in StoreKit testing in Xcode, it's not going to influence Eric's use that much. So he's rolling back. He's waiting for the display, the MacBook display option to happen. And when that is, he might, as soon as I tell him it's on there, he'll switch over to the developer beta. But
I can ask
not much for,
I'll stay on beta. Don't bother me.
Well, we can tell mostly by how small a lot of these new betas are that we're getting closer and closer to a general release.
It's getting there. I don't know about Vision Pro, but
they talked about maybe a couple of more releases, betas, and then going to a 2.2 with Vision Pro.
The other thing that I found this week, that Apple did release its first scripted immersive film. It's coming this week as we record, and there's a trailer, and it is the Submerged. It's going to be free for all Vision Pro users this Thursday, actually today. I haven't even tried it yet. It is out now. It's a short film that was written and directed by Academy Award-winning filmmaker. That makes it stand out from other immersive videos that Apple has produced to this point. The filmmaker is Edward Berger, and he's best known for films like All Quiet on the Western Front and the upcoming Conclave. So that's a pretty big resume there. So the Submerged invites viewers onto a World War II era submarine and follows its crew as they wrestle to combat an harrowing torpedo attack. And the adrenaline-pumping thrill ride showcases the unique storytelling experiences made possible by Apple Immersive Video. So taking advantage of spatial audio as well as video is going to be pretty incredible. I did not get to see it yet because it just got released today. We do this thing called work. So, but I don't know if you've tried it, Marty.
I was in the same situation. I really wanted to this afternoon. Then I came home and got stuck. I volunteered for the job to upgrade my wife's phone, so I never got around to looking at the trailer. The word of mouth on it is it's really cool, and it demonstrates the real unique use of spatial video that can't be demonstrated just through an iPhone camera. Spatial video that well directed, well put together, exciting. I keep hearing the storyline and I think of Das Boot, the German. Yeah. I mean, I just go like, hey, this sounds like Das Boot, which, is a famous, well-known, well-directed, well-shot movie from years ago. But I want to get to see the trailer. I want to get to see the movie. The problem is we're getting crumbs. I mean, that's the complaint from people that we need more of this on a regular basis. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. So go check it out for those of you who have Vision Pro, and we will report back next week to tell you how we liked it because we didn't get a chance to see it. Let's move on here, go on to more topics. Update now. I'm telling you, iOS 18.0.1 included these bug fixes and security patches. And it's recommended that you do the upgrade soon. Apple already stopped signing 18.0, so you really need to get out there and make sure this is updated. The biggest problem was the 16 and 16 Pro models. I was noticing it was the touchscreen may be temporarily unresponsive in certain circumstances on the 16 and 16 Pro models. I know, Marty, you've been on beta most of the time, so you probably didn't experience it, but I did see that before I decided to go on the beta. I know. Can you believe it? I'm on beta on my production iPhone. I did jump the gun here, but I was getting tired of the touchscreen not working. And didn't want to wait. So the camera may freeze when recording macro mode video or ultra wide camera in 4K and with HDR turned off on 16 Pro models. I did notice that too when I was doing some recording. Messages may unexpectedly quit when replying to a message with a shared Apple Watch face, and performance may be impacted due to a memory allocation on some iPhone models. And then you had a lot of security updates with password updates, and I won't go through all that, but all you got to say is just go and update it. You got to do it. You got to do it.
If you've gone ahead and made the leap to iOS 18, right, make the further leap to the first little update.
Yeah. Or should we say in this one, a hop, skip, and a jump?
Yep.
It's like a .01 release. Obviously, Apple released it for a specific reason. It's bug fixes and security updates.
Was there a chance that it was a security vulnerability part of that too, or was it just the
there was some
freezing?
Some patches, messages in the passwords app, that were affected. So, and this covers all iPhone models all the way up to starting from the iPhone SE, the second gen or later, all the way up to the 16, of course. So go do it. Don't mess it around. Just do it. Do it.
Do it.
Meanwhile, on iOS 18.1, the sixth developer beta has been released this week, and it is with Apple Intelligence. It was 2 weeks after the fifth beta was released here. We're getting pretty close here. And Apple Intelligence, of course, includes writing tools that are available whenever text and can be selected and edited. And it can be used for spell checking, fixing grammar, rewriting with a new one, and summarizing text. Siri, I'm still getting used to this Siri thing since I am on the beta. Of course, I just said it and I saw it. The big frame goes with the color. And instead of seeing the little world dot that we were used to seeing. And it is a subtle glow, which I think is kind of cool. But so still working through the bugs here. What have you noticed, Ben, on 18.1?
There's a few more options in Control Center there. Honestly, it's getting pretty good, pretty far along. Apple Intelligence is more at this point, Apple somewhat more intelligent. Do not expect everything to be from WWDC to be there anytime soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
but it's a nice step forward. And judging by the fact that they just went to an A beta, it should be coming soon.
Yep. What about you, Marty? How's been your experience this week?
It's been surprising because on the developer beta, I got it here. I took it out of I got a bottle of Russian liquor from a student. I brought it up to my office, and
look at that.
And I'm looking at it, and the bag has all sorts of Russian writing on it. So I took my phone out, and this is from an international student who's here for 6 weeks and knew that I was Lithuanian. And, this is a drink apparently that's popular over there. And so I was sitting in my office and I had my camera and I said, I want to see if this will do translate. And sure enough, I put the camera up, it gave me the window. It asked me if I took a picture of it. It did the translate on it. And it was a pretty sensible translate. And it gave me the opportunity to do writing tools on it. So it was just a very freaky experience. Now, the translation was Putin is good, Putin is good, Putin is good. But, it was a good translation. I know you can get this on
some of the vodka.
What did you say?
Did the translator also want some of the vodka?
No, I don't even know what it is. And I'm not a big drinker, but it's a brown liquid. And
whiskey.
What could possibly go wrong?
Absolutely nothing.
What isn't wrong is Jeff Gamet made it to the show. I'm glad you were to make it there, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm sorry I'm late.
That's
but
okay.
Sometimes the universe conspires against me, and so I live by my philosophy: semper Gumby.
You came in just in time to talk about Russian.
Always Gumby.
Always flexible.
So, and that's it for beta. I don't think there hasn't been any much else that we can really report on at this point. We're going to go through a couple other things here. WatchOS 11.1 is out for developers as well. Not much to report with that. As normally with Apple Watch or WatchOS, I should say. And so I really not much to report there. And then tvOS also had their version out that came out as well. And same thing. There really wasn't much with the updates, as we already know about tvOS and what that's had. We've talked about. Then what else do we notice here in iOS 18.1? We've talked about it. Control Center is probably one of my more favorite things that they've done in iOS 18 in general. I've done a few demos already at our Mac user groups, and been really fun to talk about it and actually use it, because it does give you some flexibility with multiple pages and all that stuff. So we'll keep talking about that. Once it's out, we'll definitely be hitting it a lot harder to talk about this thing here. So they also this latest beta also added the sleep apnea alerts and the breathing disturbance readings because that was being added to the Apple Watch in WatchOS 11 and 11.1. So that's coming, and you definitely see that. I already know I have sleep apnea, so it's not going to be anything affecting me here. So,
but I do too, and I have been wearing my watch, and it's telling me I need to wear more and more, but it's giving me all clear on sleep apnea, and it might be because I'm using the machine.
You got the CPAP.
So at least you should try it.
Yeah, maybe. Let's also talk about iOS 18 and iPadOS 18 and macOS tall trees. I'm going to stay within Jeff's name here. Apple's latest OSs are going to be supporting something for gamers, official support for wired Xbox controllers. Previously, Apple devices supported wireless Xbox and PlayStation controllers via Bluetooth, but when it came to wired connections, only PlayStation controllers were compatible. So this makes a big jump here. You can connect, if you're using an iOS device with a Lightning port, like an iPad or an iPhone, you will need a USB camera adapter to do it, because it's got to have that connection. So, but that's kind of cool. that they're letting you use those particular adapters. And the article here does show you how to get that set up. So anything you want to add there on Ben?
Yeah, there are a lot of gamers who do prefer a wired connection due to latency.
Yep.
The fact that Apple is further completing the game controller ecosystem is awesome. There are a lot of really good high-end wired Xbox controllers.
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything to add about that? This? All right.
Oh,
let's go ahead.
Oh no! I misheard in my Fit Pros.
Okay. So as we talked about iOS 18.1, the plan is for it to be released on October 28th. This was according to Mark Gurman on Bloomberg. He thinks the release date is arriving this month later than initially expected because Apple's reportedly taking extra time to ensure a smooth rollout and prepare its AI cloud servers for the increased traffic. This update will bring the first wave of Apple Intelligence features to the 15 Pro and the 16 owners, as we've talked about here. So it's definitely going to be interesting. And what's kind of bothersome, I'll be honest, that Apple has been advertising it already, saying it's got Apple Intelligence, and then most people can't use it.
That is annoying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The marketing has been full speed ahead. Why the development has been very slow and deliberate. So right now they're promising what you can't have.
Right. So it'd be I'll be looking forward to hearing what the real world people who don't do beta to see what they have to say about it, because it's definitely going to be interesting. What's not going to be coming to iOS 18.1 with the Apple Intelligence features is the image playground, the Genmoji, which allows you to generate any emoji you want. You're limited to the emoji characters, of course, defined in the Unicode consortium, but this is going to change with the Genmoji. The Image Wand, which was an image playground-based feature coming to the Notes app, priority notifications. On the Mail app, you won't be able to. They're going to be adding a feature that will allow you to sort your incoming messages into categories automatically for better management, like newsletters and purchase emails. And the S Lady is going to have some initial updates that are already coming in 18.1, such as the new glow encompasses the edge of the display with a lot more of an advanced functionality. Not going to be available till later. So yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't going to be on that. So that could be going to iOS 18.2. So we'll be seeing that
later.
Much later, probably in 2025. I would think. But they said maybe before the end of this year, 2024. So you never know. But they'll probably get to 18.3 and 18.4 by the time March 2025 rolls around here. So that's what they say the plan is anyway, to where that's going to be. A couple other features we talk about here as far as image tools in iOS 18.2, they say are coming is it's definitely going to be when Image Playground will come out. The tool for apps, it's going to be a standalone Image Playground app. You can work through Playground tools and existing apps, including third-party ones. So there's a lot more that's going to be available here. And we just talked about a lot of this stuff. So that's something to look forward to. That's for sure. One thing I wanted to talk about here was iPhone mirroring. Now, iPhone mirroring was just released on the macOS tall trees. And it's currently has a privacy and legal risk on work Macs. So one of the new features on iOS 18 in Sequoia is iPhone mirroring, but this is with a personal iPhone and on a Mac on a work Mac currently creates a privacy risk for employees and a legal risk for businesses. Problem is the cybersecurity company Sevco discovered that the apps on the iPhone get treated as Mac apps, and that means their presence is included in corporate IT audits. There's your problem right there. The corporate has lots of IT audits, and they see that stuff on the network. I was like, you are not following the rules, so it definitely needs to be blocked. But the site Apple is working on a fix, and then wasn't intended behavior, but they don't know what they're going to be when that's going to be ready. So what do you think on this, Jeff? I know we've been using iPhone mirroring quite a bit.
It's so funny that you would ask me first, because I have thoughts on this. Okay, thought number one, Your IT department should be managing your devices so that your personal iPhone cannot connect to corporate devices or networks, period. That solves the problem. And as a user, why in the world would you ever want to connect your personal device to your corporate network or computer? That's just asking for trouble. Your company has no business knowing what's on your personal devices or managing any of the content or settings there. And you have no business connecting your personal phone to your corporate stuff. So stop doing it.
Never.
I'm interested to see what Apple does to address this, since apparently they have a fix coming, but the fix is already in place, and the fix is address the security holes in your corporate device management.
What about you, Ben?
I will say this. In a perfect world, Jeff is absolutely right. Unfortunately, some companies are very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cheap
the
or
idea of BYOB saves them money. So a lot of things that shouldn't be allowed on corporate networks are, and I should know because I had to use my own personal device in a corporate setting. That being said, between this and those lovely privacy warnings or whatever they are that come up and will knock servers offline, Apple has had a corporate problem with Sequoia.
Yeah. We're seeing it. I'm seeing it. It's going to be a challenge to go to it right now.
Yeah. What they need is a C-level executive for business relations. Someone who will have the authority to interface with Air Force One. And when, they're discussing the features, he'll be able to say, yeah, that's a reliability and enterprise deployment. We should probably think of a way to turn that off by default or mitigate it somehow. I mean, Apple is very much a corporate, or not it's a consumer artist focused company. And and that means even though they are trying to get into enterprise, trying to get into some different markets, they do not, despite being a giant company, they do not fully understand those markets and really need another voice who will speak for those enterprise customers while not getting in the way of who Apple is.
Guy, have you tried using the iPhone mirroring yet, or are you on Sequoia?
I am on Sequoia, and I have tried iPhone mirroring, and it's kind of cool. I haven't really done much with it other than to go, oh, look, that works like that now. So, if, as I understand it, you can run apps off of it from your Mac. Is that true? You can't. So it's basically just showing what's on your screen.
No, you can actually control your iPhone from the Mac. You can icons and launch programs.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It actually shuts off your iPhone. You can't look at your iPhone. You look at it on mirroring.
Yeah.
That's all you see.
Well, we'll see what happens and what Apple or how Apple implements that going into the future. But that could also possibly compromise either your phone or your Mac if it isn't done correctly.
Yeah.
Yep. How about you, Marty?
I use the iPhone mirroring primarily because I'd rather use the WhatsApp. I use it as a communicating device for the grants, the teachers that I have on this grant, and that's what we do to communicate back and forth. And I'd rather run it through the mirror on my screen than trying to open up the app in a separate window and things like that. So it's convenient. It lets me see what comes up. At my workspace, universities have done a wonderful job of moving technology down to the lowest possible bar. And so anything that they could supply me to use at work is not going to work for me. So what I do is basically go in and I have set up a M2 Mac Mini. I have displays. I have everything I need. All I use is their Wi-Fi. I don't even hardwire into their Ethernet. I use their Wi-Fi. I don't put my printer in the system. My printer is direct line. And that way I don't have to deal with all the junkware that they put on computers and surveillance stuff that they put on computers. I'm like a student who comes with their laptop and uses the Wi-Fi. Mine just happens to sit in my office all day long. So.
All right. Let's talk about this. iOS 18, they've now added the send messages without the need for a Wi-Fi or cellular connection. This is an enhancement in iOS 18 that Apple added as a further enhancement. It's satellite connectivity features for iPhone users with the introduction of the messages via satellite. And the way it works is right now it's in the US and Canada. Owners of the iPhone 14 models and newer can now send messages via satellite and enables you to exchange iMessages and SMS texts, including emojis, tapbacks, and through satellite connections when traditional networks are unavailable. Apple is using the infrastructure that it's set up for emergency SOS for via satellite for this feature, but you don't have to be in an emergency situation to use it. And the service currently is no additional charge, which is pretty amazing. And one of the things is it has to detect that there is no cellular or Wi-Fi in any area. So they're not just going to let you use it. I mean, you have to be in an area where there is flat out no coverage, no cellular, no Wi-Fi before it'll allow you to go to SOS and be able to use this. So, but this is great for like roadside assistance, the Find My, and the messages. That all that stuff can go over satellite, which is great, and giving you guidance. And it even has a way for you actually to do the demo too. The article shows how to do that under settings. You go into apps and then tap messages, and you can scroll down and tap satellite connection demo, and it'll show you how it works, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
What do you think on this, Ben? Go ahead.
Look, I live in a place which has a deep Mississippi River valley with hills lined with lead. In other words, there's going to be spaces where I do not have cellular service. Mm-hmm. And this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, especially when it comes to a family member's cabin. So traditional service is spotty there at best. So this is really going to help communications in rural and mountainous type areas.
Oh, no question. And I'd have to be an emergency to do it. What do you think, Guy?
What do I think? Hi, I'm dying. Hashtag come save me. Come on, please. there is you can't find fault in it because it's a great feature. How long they'll be able to do it for free,
right?
Who knows? Satellite time is not cheap. Hopefully,
it's gotten cheaper.
It has. Hopefully, since it's going to only work in the absence of any other type of radio signal, it'll have a minimal effect. I have a sister-in-law who does lots of hiking in the Idaho area, and my wife keeps watching and God bless her, she keeps watching all of these shows where it's like, this person went into the woods in Idaho and no one's ever seen them again. And so she's constantly freaking out over her sister will come and say, I'm going on a 3-day hike and you may not hear from me for a while. And all the alarm bells start going off in my wife's head. So.
Oh, that happened here last fall.
I know it did. It happens all the time. There was a guy that just fell off the Grand Canyon to his death. But anything that will allow us to communicate with someone in the middle of nowhere when there is no cellular, when there is no Wi-Fi, is a good thing. The trick is don't abuse it, because if you do, it could go away.
Yeah,
that's true.
So again, no hashtag, just stay away from that. Don't do that.
Jeff has thoughts.
Of course I have thoughts. I live in Colorado where cell signals or a lot of the state are a surprise luxury as opposed to just something that's ubiquitous. And we have reports, it feels like weekly, of people getting injured or killed or lost up in the mountains. And yeah, maybe some of those people could have been saved if they had the ability to send out a message over satellite. So yes, like Guy said, you can't fault the feature. This is great. And there you go.
Yeah.
I hope I never need to use it.
You know, what I'm afraid of is that people will, oh, look at I got this great picture of a rock. Let me send it to you right now over satellite. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Only use it. Now, in a case where you've finished your hike for the day and you want to let the family know that you've reached your campground or wherever the heck it is that you are, terrific. They don't need to see the 14 pictures at different angles with, all of the different features of the iPhone that you can throw at your camera, of a waterfall that you just happen to run into. Just
does satellite messaging even support images?
Does it? I thought it did.
I don't know.
I thought it did. And the big amazing thing was, well, then I can take a picture of my sprained ankle and send it, and someone can do a remote evaluation of my injury.
Sure.
Okay, Guy's not going to like this because he just preached against doing it for kicks. I was flying into Cleveland and looking out the window, and there was amazing cloud formations I had never seen. So I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of it. And then I thought, I wonder if I can get cell signal here because I'm kind of high up, but not kind of high up. So at risk of putting the plane into a death spin, I turned on the cellular. And it wouldn't go on, but I did get the satellite option. And it was, you got to line up, you got to point it to where the satellite is. Couldn't do it in the plane. So I never was able to connect with it, but I was tempted.
You're going to scare the hell out of everybody on that plane too, as you're like, all these positions.
You're going like this. Yeah, you're moving into position here.
I paid for a first class seat. I can do that kind of crap.
Yeah, that's right.
This logic checks out.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Sir, please sit down. Please fasten your seatbelt. Don't get up and eat again.
I'm now picturing the air marshal tackling Marty.
Yeah.
And the whole time Marty is going, stop, I gotta hit the satellite. And it's not helping.
But they were clouds. They were pretty fluffy clouds.
I think I got a show title. But in the chat at youtube.com/untouchableios, we had Brian, and Cletus is there, and he has absolutely good example of where SOS comes in handy with the advent of Hurricane Milton that just escaped Florida. You got to know that a lot of cell towers are probably out of service, or not working, or down, or got hit. That SOS would probably be the most amazing thing to be using right now. Same thing in Tennessee and North Carolina when Helene hit the hurricane as well.
Which is also why T-Mobile and SpaceX were able to activate cellular communication via satellite on a emergency basis.
I remember that. I didn't catch that article. I should put that in our show. Yes, thanks for bringing that up. That is true. T-Mobile, again, another reason to be a T-Mobile customer right there. That it's good to see that stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. And one thing I noticed here is Apple did add 9 new features to the iCloud website. This was reported earlier this week that you can now access iCloud apps and settings from any web browser with today's refresh at iCloud.com. Supports some of the features that you had previously been introduced in iOS. And that's dark mode, customizing your background, and some new features across apps, including pin notes and faster navigation of photos and more. A whole long list of stuff here that is in here, and there's so much more that you can use. I don't use iCloud.com very often. I don't know if a lot of people do. Maybe this is a better reason to get on here, especially when you can't access it your phone at the moment. You want to get on go on a browser? What do you think, Guy?
Yeah, I've used it quite often. If I'm at if I'm in an area that I cannot use my phone or I cannot use my iPad, I can always, as long as I'm on Chrome, I can go into and get to iCloud.com and get my stuff that I need to do and then move on. And I mean, there are so many great uses for iCloud. The fact that you can start a document on one device and then finish it on another. I mean, it's a relatively great service.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, plus this also brings it to basically feature parity with similar services from Google and Microsoft.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marty.
As you're talking about it, Guy, I'm thinking back to the old Mobile Me days. It just kind of generates groans when you think how good it is now compared to back then.
Well,
I did get some groans when I mentioned it.
Now, and they're like, "Oh, iCloud, you're going to use that's a terrible experience. You have no
idea
how bad."
Child.
When Steve Jobs bashes the service in a keynote, you know it's bad.
Yeah,
he basically said it sucks. So, good to see. I'm glad they have these options that you can use on the web.
Dark
here.
mode is nice too. Finally.
Yeah. So let's move on and hit some of the news stories for this week. I guess hell froze over because the Home Depot and HEB finally rolling out Apple Pay in stores. The Home Depot has finally caved and started rolling out the ability to pay with Apple Pay and other tap-to-pay payment methods in some of the U.S. stores. And the home improvement retailer has not officially announced that it accepts Apple Pay, so it's unclear which stores offer it. But in a social media post earlier this year, the company did said it was evaluating some new payment methods. They had been holdouts since they dropped support in 2015. Geez, going on almost 10 years. And another was a Texas-based grocery store called the chain called HEB, which also is gradually starting to accept it this month. In a press release this week, HEB has said it will begin rolling out the ability to pay with Apple Pay and other tap-to-pay methods throughout October in all their stores. So, what do you think, Ben, on this?
This is great. Hey, guys in Bentonville, Arkansas, aka Walmart and Sam's Club, I'm looking at you now.
Yep.
Yeah, I generally don't use stores that don't have tap to pay or let me pay via my iPhone. I'm just too used to it now. It's weird. I went on vacation to New Jersey a couple of weeks ago, and I took out $200 cash before I left because I always like having some cash with me. And it was just yesterday. I was looking in my wallet for something. It was like, oh yeah, I've got $200 there. I still had $200 there because I don't really use cash that much anymore.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff?
I have absolutely no praise for Home Depot doing this. What the hell? I mean, great. Now we'll be able to use Apple Pay at Home Depot. But the fact that we haven't been able to do this for years and years and years, and their whole computer system for interacting with customers, I'm pretty sure the CEO's nephew was probably brought in because he knows computers and they let him do the whole thing. Anyhow, great. Thank you, Home Depot, for doing what you should have done years ago. And HEB, okay, does that mean, hey, eat bacon? I'm guessing. I don't know.
I sure
don't know. I hope so.
And
Bacon.
then you and I, we are both looking at Walmart like, hey, where's your Apple Pay support? And we better not hold our breath because they are not going to cave on this.
That would really, really bother me if I gave a crap about Walmart.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Well, until there's a Meyer,
Moving you on.
I kind of have to.
Red Myers. Ooh.
I finally saw that from the outside for the first time at Macstock. So I haven't been inside, But I'm assuming after I go in for the first time, I will purr just like Guy.
Oh, Fred Meyer's is the most amazing store ever. I'm sorry. I
There's
don't
no Fred Meyer's in Illinois, by the way.
Right.
John.
Yeah, this is Meijer out of Michigan.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, they've got
Meyer.
Myers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I
went.
thought you said Fred Meyer.
Yeah. Well, I said Fred Meyer's. Fred.
No,
Yeah,
Meyer.
the only one of those I've been
That's-
to was in Idaho, and
Yes.
I walked in
Yeah.
and I just kind of walked the whole store, and I was like, "I'm home." This place.
They're
really-
both hypermarkets.
Yeah.
Fred Meyer is owned by either Albertson or Kroger. I forget which.
Well, pretty soon it won't matter because it'll be
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
Fred Kroger's.
Slow Horses. That's what a great show that is. Season 5 trailer is already out and available, so if you know where to look. Apple TV Plus is currently airing some of the best shows on TV, honestly. And Slow Horses is one of them, and they just wrapped up the 4th season, but they already are looking at the season 5 trailer, which is now available. But you got to know where to look here. And basically, what they say is, way before season 4 even started, Apple announced this would be out in the season 5. Now it says it has this season 5 trailer, but you won't find it on YouTube, even this standalone trailer in the Apple TV app. Instead, Apple has attached the season 5 trailer to the end of the season 4 finale, so you won't be able to see it until that comes out. That's pretty amazing.
The finale's already out.
Yeah.
Oh, is it out? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
This is what Apple's done at the end of each season of Slow Horses. You get to the end of the season finale, and they show you the teaser trailer for the next season.
Yeah.
So
Only Murders in the Building does something similar.
yeah, there you go. Gives you incentive to stay to the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
Not like you need more incentive with Slow Horses.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
with
like,
Slow
"Give me
Horses,
more now. I'm addicted.
with
Hot
Slow
and-
Horses, I got the first episode of the first season done.
Okay.
And then the second episode, I turned on the English translation because I couldn't understand half the dialogue with the thick accents, and so that's helping me in terms of processing. I have just finished, and I know Guy's no fan of it, Bad Monkey, but what that means to me is now I can move
I love
on
Bad
to
Monkey.
another serial. And it'll probably be Slow Horses. Sometimes somewhere I'll work in Wolves, but I think that's going to be the next thing I step up to. What?
I started watching Wolves because I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be great. George Clooney and Brad Pitt playing off each other in this movie.
How could it be bad?
How could it be bad? Here's how it's bad. The first part of the movie, you get them playing off each other. And then it turns into this extended chase, which is occasionally broken up with the two of them or one of them. And I got up to, I think I have half an hour in the movie left, and I turned it off because I was like, this isn't the movie that I signed up for. And yeah. So you may very well enjoy it, but I was just getting so tired of, and now it's this kind of chase, and now it's this kind of chase, and we're going to break it up with a couple minutes of banter, and now we're back to this kind of chase.
So you're saying there's a reason they pulled it from theaters?
I'm certain that yes.
All right. Let's go on to more Apple TV Plus discussion here. Apple TV Plus is coming to Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. Amazon has announced that Apple TV Plus will be available as an add-on subscription through its Prime Video in the United States. Prime members will be able to subscribe to Apple TV Plus at the $9.99 per month directly from the Prime Video app. The partnership potentially allows Apple's streaming services to reach a wider audience through Amazon's popular Prime Video platform, therefore avoiding the need to download additional apps or navigate to separate billing systems. And subscribers will have access to Apple TV Plus full catalog of original content, as we all know. This is a great idea, and Apple continues to do this with Apple TV Plus by putting it on smart TVs.
Amazon just gets 30%.
There you go. There
This
you
is
go.
why I love you, Guy.
That was a good one, Guy. Thank you. So what do you think, Jeff?
Good. Do this. Apple, keep doing this. If you want to be in front of everyone's eyes, you need to use the Netflix strategy, which is make your service available every possible place you can. Buy a toaster, comes with Netflix. Get a 6-pack of tacos at Taco Bell, and you get Netflix. That sort of thing. So yes, partner with everyone you possibly can, Apple. Make it as easy as possible for people to get at your service through whatever device they have. That's a very important part of having a successful streaming service. So well done, Apple. And yeah, now I really want to know, what kind of cut does Amazon get?
Yeah, I want to know too. Any more thoughts, Ben?
They give Amazon a break their back end.
Yep.
Apple
Take a very good look at this, is because we're witnessing the future of TV. This is how cable-like bundles are going to be done in the future. Essentially, you're going to be using your streaming platform of choice, and then you're going to be able to subscribe to every other service from that platform. And a lot of those are going to be bundled for a different price because you get everything together, and basically the whole frenemy situation where everybody wins.
Except Netflix.
And my wallet.
Yeah.
When you
look at the interface for Apple TV, they're already kind of doing this. And your bottom left-hand side, you've got all of these different services. I've got Paramount Plus for Star Trek because reasons, and Hulu and Disney Plus and all these other services are all listed right there. So once you're in Apple TV Plus, you don't even have to go to the main big interface where all of the apps are, because they're all right there.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people who have Amazon Prime and don't even think about the Apple ecosystem. So this, I think, is potentially capturing an audience that would not be part of Apple's ecosystem yet. They're not going to maybe buy Apple devices. They're going to buy Android devices. They're going to not engage in all the tech stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And I think this is a way to kind of introduce them to some quality program. And Amazon will get its cut, but Apple will get introduced to a bunch of folks that might start to bleed over to other parts of the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah. Yep. Just look at all the Fire OS TVs that are sold.
Yeah.
And we'll get on there too.
Apple services is like the biggest growing part of the company, even bigger than the phones.
Yep, sure is. Okay, a couple more stories here. Ted Lasso, Bad Monkey. Those have been some very big popular shows. I know that guy doesn't like Bad Monkey. Everybody loves Ted Lasso. But here's why you should be now watching Shrinking on Apple TV Plus. Season 2 is coming out. It's one of the that completes the Bill Lawrence TV Plus trifecta, because Bill Lawrence, the executive producer for all 3 shows, that's what makes it instrumental, because he's the mind behind all 3 of these shows. He's the co-creator of all 3 series and has been the showrunner to some degree as well. While the series has each of their own distinct flavor, it all fit into the comedy with emotion undercurrent vibe Lawrence is known for. Chances are, if you enjoyed Lasso and Monkey, Shrinking is going to be your jam too. I really like Shrinking. I think it's a great show. Harrison Ford's in it, so that's in itself.
They're finally coming out with another season of that?
Yeah, season 2, October 16th, so it'll be 6 days from as we're recording
fantastic.
this. Yeah, that'll debut next Wednesday.
But it's been like 2 years.
It's been a while. So make sure you go check it out. And you get the bonus. You get the bonus part of the show is Roy Kent, because Brett Goldstein is known as Roy Kent, and the major creating has been the major creative force behind Shrinking. He's the co-creator along with Lawrence, and enrolled a vast amount of the two's work on Ted Lasso. And it turns out Goldstein will be guest starring in a new season of Shrinking, in a role that is very different from anything we've seen him do before. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty awesome.
He's here, he's there, he's everywhere.
Guess I need to start watching Shrinking.
Are they going to do? I heard something. They're going to do another season of Lasso. Is that true?
Yes, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Or should we say, we know that the British actress contracts have been picked up.
Mhm.
Whether it's Ted Lasso season 4 or Richmond AFC season 1 is
Yeah.
TBD. But it looks like it's very, very prominent. My brain can't talk. Very likely that we will be revisiting that world.
As as much as I loved the character Ted Lasso throughout that entire run, those other people could carry that show without Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
There was
Coach.
much. There was Beard. Oh yeah. Because Beard is
Beard.
still going to be there. He's still there in the UK. And
Hey, just stop. You're about to go into spoiler territory, and I have not watched the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, no spoilers, please.
No spoilers.
Yes, Ted Lasso takes over the NFL expansion team in Orlando. Oh wait, that was Coach.
Guys in the engine room.
No spoiler. All right, let's go ahead and move on. One of the last stories here. Longtime Apple executive Dan Riccio is going to be retiring later this month. He's set to retire from the company after it's been reported by Bloomberg that he's worked for Apple for 26 years, most recently overseeing the Vision Pro development as an engineering vice president, and reported directly to Apple CEO Tim Cook. During his tenure as Apple's senior vice president of hardware engineering, he also, as I said, took over the Apple Vision Pro development and a couple thousand engineers in the Vision products group. Mike Rockwell, who was working under Riccio, will continue to oversee the day-to-day work on the Vision Pro, and that's good because I was worried that was going to happen here. So another big key player is going to be retiring from Apple. So, but it's bound to happen. That 26 years is quite a long run in many places. Any thoughts?
This is going to be either something that is a complete non-story or one of the biggest stories, depending on context here. We knew he was on his way out of the executive team and kind of going to the same plan that Phil Schiller is on, where he sticks around with a very specific, job role, which was developing Vision Pro. Now, the big question is, whether he got to a point where he could turn it over to John Turnus and have his leadership directed further, or is this to the point where he just didn't think he could move it any further? I mean, up until we learn something more, and trust me, Gurman will find out more. This is just, he's retiring, and we don't know much more from there.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, what else do you need to do? What else? You've got all the money that you will ever need, and you've brought various products to life over the course of your career. At some point, it's just like, I just don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
The comments on this article are basically a lot of people trying to wrap it around. Yeah. The guy probably just wants to retire, but it's sort of like, oh, well, they spent $1 billion on the Vision Pro and look what happened and blah, blah, blah. Isn't he going to be, it sounds like he's going to be forced out. Yeah. They want to put a bunch of drama behind it. The guy probably just wants to retire.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm with you on that.
I want to retire. I want his money and retire.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Me too. I'm with you on that too. And with that, that's the show for this week. Thank you, all of you, for having us. It was such a great show. A lot of great topics, a lot of great discussion. And let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Mastodon at intouchwithios, at techhangout.social. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you're notified when we are live streaming, which is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. Great to see Cletus and Brian and many others in the chat this week. That's you can watch the live stream as well as watch the previous live streams as well as listen to past shows. Visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics we discuss are flipped in that magazine. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, and many others. But better yet, just go to intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are on that website. I am Dave Ginsburg. You can find me on Mastodon at DaveG65 and Mastodon.cloud. Guy Serle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I always have a good time here.
Yes, I do too.
So I stay relatively low key, you know.
Yeah, right. Where can people find you?
You can send me an email, guy@mymac.com. I am either Mac Parrot or VertShark pretty much everywhere. I'm VertShark over on Twitter, where you can see all of the odds and all of the vids over there that I've done. I'm only about 5 months behind on Guy's Daily Drive doing those videos, so look for those real soon. There's the mymac.com podcast. We are getting so close to our 1,000th episode. That's going to be huge. We're going to be bringing on a lot of people that help make the mymac.com podcast what it is, in spite of Gaz and myself. And I hope you all will tune in for that.
That'd be fun. That'll be awesome. Be here, Guy. Ben Roethig, thank you for being here as well. Where can people find you?
Well, Dave, you can find me at Ben Roethig on your social media of choice, which has made it a little bit easier to post these days because of a little app called Croissant.
Croissant?
Yes.
Croissant.
Which makes me both wanting to post and hungry at the same time.
Yeah.
You can find my writings on a little site called Roethig.tech. It's currently up at a WordPress site, but I'm currently looking to maybe move to another service because of maybe you've heard of the recent turmoil over that IP.
Oh, we can talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Depending on my work schedule, you can also find me on such shows as Mac Forces Live with Chuck Joyner, The Big Show, and The Mac Show on the British Tech Network with some dude named Jeff Gamet.
Him.
Oh, that guy.
Thanks, Ben. Marty Jencius, thank you for being here as always. Where can people find you?
Y'all exhaust me. All the stuff that you're on, all the stuff that you're doing, 1,000 shows.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
exhaust me.
You have like more podcasts.
You started at 285, so you know it's been going on for a while, even without me. Though I did start. The very first time I was on that show was episode 35, so I've been doing it for a while.
Okay, well, you can catch my 25th episode of Vision Profiles this Monday with Eric Bolden, live on youtube.com/@visionprofiles. And I also do Chuck Joyner Show on Tuesday night with Mac Voices. Love being here on Thursday night. Different vibe, lots of good stuff to talk about. And I also do Tech Savvy Professor and Circular Firing Squad as podcasts on the outside. You can find me at Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social.
Thanks, Marty. Last but certainly not least, Jeff Gamet, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Well, thank you for letting me slip in late. Because it's always just so much fun to get to hang out with you and everyone else that shows up and participates in the show. All right, so social media, I'm Jay Gamet everywhere, but posting pretty much just on Mastodon and Instagram right now. Then I do spend a lot of time trying to make Marty just completely exhausted by showing up on Tuesdays for Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices Live, joining you here on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS, then hopping over to the British Tech Network for the Big Show on Thursdays and the Mac Show on Fridays, and then getting connected with Brian Chaffin so that we can do the Context Machine, and then wrap it all up with Patrice Brendamore for Retro Rewatch.
Thank you so
You
much.
sleep at some point during all this, right?
I sleep right through the shows. I'm asleep right now,
Especially when he's hosting.
especially
All right.
when I'm hosting. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Thanks for all of our folks that are here this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the show. We enjoy doing it. And until next time, we will talk again soon.